I'm John, a teenager, who had always thought my life was simple and straightforward. But everything changed one stormy night, when my stepmother, Era, revealed a secret that turned my world upside down. Little did I know, this revelation would lead me on a journey to uncover the truth about my father's disappearance and the dangerous forces that had kept him hidden from me for years. My stepmother told me her darkest secret, for as long as I could remember. My stepmother, Sarah, had been my protector. She was kind, strong, and always there when I needed her. She would always listen when I was upset, and she made me feel safe. But that night everything changed. It was a stormy evening. The wind howled outside, and the sound of rain tapping against the window was endless. I sat in my room, feeling restless. The storm made me feel uneasy, but I couldn't sleep. And I heard footsteps in the hallway. 'Twas Sarah. "Can I talk to you for a moment?" she asked softly. Her voice sounded different, unusual. I turned away from the window and noticed she seemed nervous. Something was wrong. I nodded, unsure of what was going on but curious. She led me to the living room. The fire was burning low, casting strange shadows around the room. The crackling of the fire made the atmosphere even more tense. We sat down on the couch, and I could tell she was more nervous than I had ever seen her before. "There's something I need to tell you," Sarah said, her hands shaking slightly. She looked down, not able to meet my eyes. "Something I've been keeping from you for a long time." I frowned, my heart beginning to race. What could it be? My stepmother, the woman I trusted with everything, was hiding something. "It's about your father," she said. Her voice trembled as she spoke. I felt a rush of confusion. My father had disappeared when I was little. I always thought he left because of work. Maybe he had to travel, or leave for some reason I didn't understand. But now, Sarah was talking about him in a way I didn't expect. "Your father didn't just leave," Sarah continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "He was taken. Kidnapped." I stared at her, shocked. "Kidnapped? What do you mean?" "He's been gone for years." Sarah's face was full of pain. "I know. And I didn't want to tell you this, but you deserve to know the truth. Your father didn't leave us. Someone took him. Someone dangerous." I couldn't speak. My mind raced to process what she was saying. My father, the man I thought had simply disappeared, had been taken? Kidnapped? "Why didn't you tell me this before?" Yes, my voice shaking with confusion and anger. "Why did you keep this from me all these years?" Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She looked away, her voice breaking. "I didn't want to scare you. I didn't want you to think your father wasn't coming back. I wanted to protect you, and telling you the truth was too painful. But now, I can't hide it anymore." She stood up and walked toward the window, staring out at the rain. Her back was turned to me. I could see the tension in her shoulders. "The people who took him, they were after something. Your father was involved in something big, something dangerous, and when they found out about it, they took him. I was too scared to go to the police, too scared to risk your safety." I felt a tight knot in my stomach. This wasn't the life I had imagined. I thought I had lost my father to an illness or an accident, But now I was learning he had been taken. And Sarah had known all along. Do you know where he is now? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Is he alive? Sarah turned to me, her face pale, filled with guilt. Yes, he's alive. But he's in hiding. He's been forced to live in secret, away from the world. He can't come back until it's safe. I could hardly believe it. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you let me know he was alive? All these years, I thought he was gone forever. Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she sat back down beside me. She took my hand. I couldn't tell you. I was too scared. If you knew the truth, could have put you in danger. The people who took your father, they're still looking for him. They'll stop at nothing to make sure he stays gone. I felt a mix of emotions. Confusion, anger, and sadness. My whole life had been a lie. My father was alive, but I had no idea where he was or how to find him. And now, Sarah was telling me there were people out there who would do anything to keep him hidden. Where is he? I asked desperately. How do we find him? Sarah shook her head, tears falling down her cheeks. I don't know where he is. But I've been trying to find him, trying to gather information. The people who took him are dangerous. They're powerful, and I don't know who to trust anymore. I could see the fear in her eyes. She was terrified. But despite everything, I couldn't just let this go. I couldn't let my father stay lost. We'll find him, I said, my voice firm. We'll find him together. Sarah looked at me, relief in her eyes. You don't know how much that means to me. You're the only person I have left. We spent the next few days making plans, searching for any clue that could lead us to my father. But every time we thought we had a lead, it seemed to vanish. Sarah was right. Whoever had taken him was careful, always one step ahead of us. Then one evening, as I was walking home from school, I saw a man standing near our house. He was tall, with dark sunglasses, even though it was already dark outside. He looked out of place, and I felt a chill run down my spine. I stopped in my tracks. Who are you? I called out, but the man didn't respond. He simply turned and walked away. I ran inside, breathless, and told Sarah what had happened. She went pale when I described the man. It's them, she whispered. They're still looking for him. They've found us. That night we packed our bags. We couldn't stay here anymore. It wasn't safe. We didn't know who we could trust. We couldn't take the risk of staying in the same place. We got into the car and started driving. The journey felt long, and I had no idea where we were going. But one thing was certain. I had to find my father. I couldn't give up. The next day we arrived at the airport. We had decided it would be safer to fly somewhere far away, where no one could find us. I looked at Sarah, unsure of what the future would hold. She looked back at me, and for the first time in days, there was a look of hope in her eyes. We walked through the terminal, heading to our gate, when I heard a voice call my stepmother's name. Sarah. Froze. It was a familiar voice. My heart skipped a beat. My hands started to shake. Sarah. The voice called again, louder this time. I turned around, and there, standing just a few feet away, was a man. His face was familiar, yet I couldn't believe it. He had the same features I remembered from my childhood. Strong jawline, kind eyes, and that familiar smile I hadn't seen in years. "Is it?" I whispered, my breath catching in my throat. "Sarah," the man said, his voice filled with emotion. "I've been waiting for this day for so long." It was my father. My real father. The one I thought was gone forever. He was standing right in front of me. Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she took a step forward. "You're here. You're really here." I rushed to my father, my heart beating wildly. He bent down and pulled me into a tight hug. I could hardly believe it. My father was alive. He was here, in front of me, holding me after all these years. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "I never wanted you to think I was gone forever. I thought of you every day." Cried, unable to stop the tears of joy. "I missed you so much." "I missed you too," he said softly. "I'll never leave you again, I promise." The three of us stood there, embracing, in the middle of the airport. Felt like the world had stopped spinning. After all the years of wondering, of searching, the moment had finally come. I had found my father. And nothing could ever tear us apart again.